Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's episode of Lewis Presents. I'm standing outside the blue plaque dedicated to Jack Cornwall, VC winner. It was here where he was born at Clyde Cottage here in Clyde Place in Leighton E10 on the 8th of January 1900. The area around here now doesn't have Jack's birthplace because basically during the bombing, during the Blitz of 1940, this area was basically blown away. But the young John Travers Cornwall was born here on the 8th of January 1900. He lived here for a while. He moved to two addresses in Leighton, 18 and 28 Byron Road, and he went to the local school. The local school over there was called George Mitchell, but in his day it was named as Farmer Road. And in the present school now at George Mitchell, I went there a few weeks ago, and they have the World War I plaque, and it has the name of John Travers Cornwall, VC winner. Jack left here in the area in 1910 and he moved to Atherstone Road, Manor Park E12. In 1914 war broke out, and like all young boys, Jack was caught up in war fever. At the time he was a delivery boy for the local tea company in Manor Park, and then without the permission of his parents, in October 1915 he enlisted in the Royal Navy. He was transferred in March 1916 to Rosyth, where he joined the battleship HMS Chester. On the 31st of May 1916, John Travers Cornwall was a sight setter manning a gun at the Battle of Jutland. That day, the HMS Chester took 18 direct hits, 4 of them on Jack's position. Jack and his gun crew, all the gun crew around him were dead and dying, but Jack still held firm to his position, awaiting further orders. When the battleship HMS Chester was withdrawn from the action, Jack Cornwall then was taken to Grimsby Hospital. His mother was sent for, but she was never to see him alive again. There was nothing the doctors could do for him. And then a few weeks later, Jack was buried in a pauper's grave in Manor Park Cemetery. And only 5 people attended the funeral, and there was no money for a gravestone. The paper of the day, a big national paper called the Daily Sketch, kicked up a campaign to have Jack buried with full military honours. And that happened in July 1916. Jack's body was exhumed. He was then reburied in Manor Park Cemetery with full military honours. And I've been to that grave in Manor Park, where his brother is buried there along with his mother, his father and the rest of his family. But when I went to George Mitchell School, we used to see pictures of John Travers Cornwall hanging up in the school assembly room. And I've later found out that wasn't of Jack Cornwall, because no pictures ever existed of Jack Cornwall. The pictures were of his brother Arthur. He posed for all the pictures. And sadly, Arthur Cornwall didn't survive the war either. He died in August in 1918 in France, killed in action. But Jack is still remembered in this area today. You've got the blue plaque behind me. He's still remembered at George Mitchell School, and the local park was renamed Skelton's Lane to Jack Cornwall Park 3 years ago on the 100th anniversary of the Battle of Jutland. So Jack Cornwall was a young boy. He was only 16 when he passed away, but he was the youngest recipient of the Victoria Cross during World War I and the 3rd youngest recipient ever of the Victoria Cross. I think you'll agree, John Travers Cornwall VC was a Leighton lad, he was a legend, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Lewis Presents. It was entitled Jack Cornwall VC winner. Thanks for watching.